Namo Vishnupadaya Vishnuprashaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shadmani Vasashatari Shatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Srivasadi Gaurabhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Is the thing working now? Sound coming? Can you go with the system that we know works? So there's no experimentation during the live class?
Yes. Lower sound.
Hare Krishna. Is it better now? Hare Krishna. Keep up. Okay, so I hope it's audible. So welcome back, everyone. I'm getting a little distracted with your screen setup.
Color?
Can we do some changes in the setup?
Color?
Not the color. These two things are becoming too much visible. Okay. Hare Krishna. So, we had been reading from the 4th canto. Now we are on chapter number 20. Is it working out? Or you want to go to your standard lens?
No.
Yeah, fine. I'll focus. I'll not have my screen in front of me. So, okay, welcome everyone for today morning Srimad Bhagavatam class as part of Bhagavat Life program. We're reading from the 4th canto, 20th chapter. We're going to start from verse number 23. What had happened so far is, briefly, is Lord Vishnu has appeared to Pṛthu Mahārāja and have instructed him, forgive Indra, do not perform your 100th yajna, and so forth we have discussed. And after instructing Pṛthu Mahārāja, he was about to leave, but he decided to stay back. Why? Vishnu said, Varam chamat kanchana manavendra varnashvateham gunashilayantrataha naham akhirvai sulabhastapobhir yogena vayat samachittavarti. Pṛthu Mahārāja, please, varam chamat kanchana manavendra. Kanchana matlab jo bhi aapki ichha ho, whatever you like. Kanchana kamini we say. So varam chamat kanchana manavendra, the best, or the Indra among the men, which means the king among the men. Varam, var. Chamat kanchana, from me, chamat, kanchana. Hey Pṛthu Mahārāja, you may ask anything that you want. Varnishvateham. Why? Why am I so kind to you? Varnishvateham gunashilayantrataha. Because I'm extremely pleased by your attitude, your conduct, your behavior. Gunashilayantrataha. Naham akhirvai sulabhastapobhir. I am not so easy to be pleased by sacrifices, by tapaha, yogena vamat, or by yogic practices. That may provide you some chittavarti, that may make you somewhat equipoised, but that not necessarily pleases me. So what pleases me is the devotee's attitude, conduct and behavior. So now we begin with text number 23, where now Pṛthu Mahārāja will begin to ask for a blessing. Text number 23. This is a very important section considering Janmashtami is right on the corner. There's another 2 days from now. It's already 13th. So from 2 days from now is Janmashtami. We'll have an opportunity to really seek out blessings from the Lord. So what kind of prayers we can have? So text number 23. We need to change the shade. I can't see it. During the morning, this is shade for the night time, not in the morning hours. It's not visible well. Yeah, this is better. So text number 23. Pṛthu Varan vibhutvat varadishvarat Katham varnite gunavikriyatmanam Yenarakanam api santi dehinam Tani shakaivalya pativarnanacha So Pṛthu Maharaj says, Varan vibhutvat varadishvarat buddha Varadishvarat, Varadraj is another name for the Lord. Varadishvarat, you can give any blessings. In fact, all the blessings, all the strength, all the opulence that Devtas have, that also comes from you. Varadishvarat, Buddha. But what blessing would an intelligent person ask? Varan vibhutvat, Varadishvarat, Buddha. Katham varnite, gunavikriyatmanam. One is caught up into the three modes of material nature. I mean, no intelligent person would ask for a blessing, just like an ordinary person who is caught up into three modes of material nature. Why? Yenarakanam api santi dehinam. Because whatever a conditioned living entity may ask for is even available for a living entity suffering in the hell. So Buddha, Varadishvarat Buddha, what a blessing an intelligent person can ask. So first thing he says, Tani Kaivalya Pate Varne Nacha. First of all, Kaivalya. I don't need impersonalistic liberation. I don't need the liberation of merging into you. And I don't want anything which a person caught up into the modes of material nature asks for. Because no intelligent person will ask for. What is that shloka? Nagmani says on the first canto, 5th chapter. What is the goal of life? Is to search out for happiness. Tasyeva hetu prayateta kovidu. Again the same thing. Kovidu. Again a learned person. Nabramata myadu pariyadaha. So again, tasyeva hetu prayateta kovidu. So Nagmani also said, the one who's intelligent person would not look out for happiness which is derived from the highest planet to the lowest planet. He would look out at his aim of life, his goal of life would be something which is beyond it. So that's the subject matter and that's the discussion here which we're having. So I would want all of you, as we're progressing with the discussion, now begin to think about, or no, before we begin with, why don't you take just a quick moment? Why don't you write down your prayers for blessings? What can you potentially ask the Lord? Or what would you like to ask the Lord on Janmashtami? Just take, not too much. 10 seconds. जैसी मेरी बात सुनते तो पहली चीज दिमाग में लिख लो. अभी तुम थोड़ा introspection नहीं होना चाहिए. Whatever the first thing comes to your mind, just write down quickly. What can an intelligent person ask? So that which is even available to the person in hellish condition life. An intelligent person will not ask for anything that is asked, requested by a person in three modes of material nature. And of course, not impersonalistic liberation. What could be that? Or what would be your prayer? My dear Lord, you're the best of the Devatas. You can offer benedictions. Why therefore should any learned person ask you for benedictions meant for living entities bewildered by the modes of material nature? Guna, Vikriyatmanam. Such benedictions are available automatically, even in the lives of living entities suffering in hellish conditions. My dear Lord, you can certainly bestow merging into your existence, but I do not wish to have even such a benediction. To those who consider, okay, liberation, mukti is the highest. So he says, well, even I don't want that. Kaivalya, Patehe, you can avoid it very easily, but I don't even want that. So Prabhupada then the purport writes, what is the benediction desired by karmis and jnanis? What does karmi want? They want swarga. Do nice and then get heavenly destination. What jnanis want? They want kaivalya. They want merging. They want mukti. But devotees do not want any of these things. Devotees do not even care for the positions held by Brahma and Lord Shiva. Nor does a devotee desire to become equal, I'm reading the last few lines of the purport, with Lord Vishnu. As a pure devotee of the Lord, Pṛthu has made his position very clear. So I'm not going to ask you what's your prayer, but everyone have written a prayer? Please raise your hand. Alright. So we'll just see, you all can reflect onto it. Are we showing verses here when I'm reading it? Or we can have it, one of the congregation can manage. Text number 24. Na kamayena tatadapi aham kavachan na yatra yasma charana bhujasavaha mahattamanta hridayan mukhachutu Vidatsvakarnayutameshamevaraha. Alright, don't show the translation. We can just hide it now. So, whatever you have written is totally fine. But what do devotees ask for? That you can think out loudly. If you have read the translation, then please don't speak. So we can have just some reflective discussion. What do devotees ask for? There's so many prayers. Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, we are in the fourth canto now. First canto there were so many prayers, then there were prayers by Brahma in the third canto and whatnot, even in the second canto. What do devotees pray for? This is what everything. Again, if you have read the translation, please do not say, because that spoils the purpose of introspection. Yes, to begin with, Anshul Prabhu. Anyone online who wants to add their thoughts can raise their hands.
To get the association of devotees always.
To get the association of devotees always. Yeah. And once we have it, we wonder, why did we ask for it? कितना संकट है यार, कितना कष्ट सहन करना पड़ता है भक्तों के सामने, ठीक है? But it's true. What he's saying is correct. It's not nothing wrong with the prayers, but something is wrong with us because of which devotees are getting troubled. Okay? Yes, Nitin Prabhu.
Prabhuji, we can ask we can never
No,
forget.
Not you. I'm just saying what devotees in general ask.
So
I'm
generally,
not
devotee may
for
ask
prayer right now.
in any
That could be
situation.
a very confidential thing. Let it be private. I'm just now going on a theoretical discussion.
Understand.
There's so many prayers. So what do you think? What devotees would have asked for like that?
Like whatever the situation will be, we should never forget Krishna.
Okay, very nice. My dear Lord, I should never forget you in whatever situation. Sounds like Mother Kunti, very nice. Okay. Anything else that we can think of? Devotees from the pages of Bhagavatam that you know of.
Devotee may ask how I can serve you best possible way, or
How can I serve you best? And now, whoever gives the fourth answer, please also say who said so. Now onwards. It's good. So now, we get more shastra that way. Okay. Because today I'm just going to speak about what to ask. So, I should have the association of devotees. I should never forget you. And I should have more service. I wish I had a whiteboard. I could write. It would be nice to reflect what I should be asking. Yes. Kya hua? I said, Mother Shaman, you were saying something. You were saying something?
No, I said devotee association was already covered.
I said devotee association. Yeah, Shri Sanatan Prabhu. And then we have online. Go ahead. Shri Sanatan Prabhu.
In the same line, only also being the servant, aham hare tab padek mula dasanu
हाँ तो वृत्तासुर क्या कह रहे हैं?
So he is saying that, O Lord, that aham hare tab padek mula dasanu daso bhavitasme bhuva. Let me become the servant of the servant of the servant of your devotees.
Yeah, again that shloka is again keep me in association of devotees.
And
so
next
if I
verse,
stay in the association of devotees, I can serve, and most importantly.
and next verse in the same line.
Oh yeah, that's.
Nanak prishtam nacha parameshtam.
Yeah, that's too high level.
No heavenly planets and nothing.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, but that's the first verse is, not the first, but the last verse is most important. Of that.
Bhagavatam
Vritta
shlok
Sumri,
generation.
yeah, that's most important. We can reflect upon. Fine. Is there something issue with the sound here? It's going fine. Okay. Thank you, Shizanatha Prabhu. Yes, Tejas Prabhu. Somewhere doors are open. There is sound coming out.
Kunti Maharani prays that please keep me always in difficulty so that I can remember your.
Yeah, okay. We are talking about Shastra Pramad, so that's also Pramad. Yes, thank you, Tejas Bro. Mother Preeti Radha, yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So in second canto Brahmaji, he prayed for protection and he had a fear of fall down. May I never fall down, get proud of my position. And that's why he prayed for protection while performing devotion.
Yeah, I believe there's a third canto, fifth chapter or something like that. But yeah, that line. Thank you for that. Alright, let's come back to Pṛthu Maharaj.
One prayer.
Yeah, go ahead.
Prahlad Maharaj's prayer. Evam jananapatitam prabhavaha kupe. Like he wants when he met Narasimhadev, he wants to grateful for the spiritual master like Narada, from whom he have received. He got the idea about the Supreme Personality.
So what did he say?
Evam jananapatitam prabhavaha kupe. Kama abhi kamanuya prabhata prasangat.
Correct. Meaning क्या है?
वो कि जब नरसिंहदेव भगवान को मिलते हैं कि he is very grateful to his spiritual master जिन्होंने मुझे I was in the darkest hole.
He has taken me out. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya, like that. Correct. Okay. So that's the gratitude prayers. So text number 24, Pṛthu Maharaj says, so what do I want? Na kamaye nata tadapi kan aham kavachan. What do I want? Na yattara yusma charana bhujashava. Let's begin with the last line actually, that's what it says. Vidhasva karna yutam esha me varaha. I want the benediction. Me varaha. Esha me. What is my wish list? Me varaha. Mine. Varaha, benediction. My wish list is Vidhasva. Kindly give me. What? Karna yutam. Please give me 1 million years. Oh, he has a benediction here. How awkward would you look if you have 1 million years? Then he says in the third line. Mahattamanta hridyan mukhachito. So purpose why I'm asking for 1 million years. So mukhachito, from the mouth of the great devotees I can hear about your glories. So the blessing Pṛthu Maharaj is asking, the only benediction Pṛthu Maharaj wants is, let me have the opportunity to hear from your great devotees. Translation. My dear Lord, I therefore do not wish to have the benediction of merging into your existence. A benediction in which there is no existence of the nectarian beverage of your lotus feet. Na yatra yasma charana bhujashavaha. I want, what do I want? I want the benediction of at least 1 million years. Fourth line. For thus, and now the third line. For thus I may be able to hear about the glories of lotus feet from the mouths of Mukha Achyutaha, Mahatmamanta Hridyan Mukha Achyutaha, from the mouths of your pure devotees. Okay. Prabhupada writes in the purpose. Fourth line. My dear Lord, I do not want such a benediction. Mahārāja Pṛthu wanted to have 1 million years to hear the glories of the lotus feet of the Lord. He specifically mentioned that the glories of the Lord should emanate from the mouths of pure devotees who speak from the core of their hearts. Shukha mukha amrita dravya samritam. That's one reference Prabhupada gives. And then Prabhupada says, one might think that these glories of the Lord can be heard from anywhere, from the mouths of either devotees or non-devotees. But here it is specifically mentioned the glories of the Lord must emanate from the mouths of pure devotees. Sri Sanatana Goswami strictly prohibited hearing from the mouth of non-devotee. There are many professional reciters of Srimad Bhagavatam, and then we know about professional reciters like that. And at the end of the second paragraph, again, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that if anyone hears from a Mayavadi philosopher preaching about the activities of the Lord, even if it is a description from the Vedic literature, he is ultimately doomed. By hearing such Mayavad philosophy, one cannot come to the destination of spiritual perfection of life. So, for some it's a debatable question, but we can discuss a little bit. Whom should we hear from? We have different people in our community. Somebody we call as mentors, you can call counselors. Somebody we may call as Shiksha Guru, somebody we may call as Diksha Guru. Then we have Srila Prabhupada. Then we have so many other speakers. In ISKCON is an international worldwide community. We have got fantastic examples, illustrious examples. Public love them. And we have so many examples, not from within but the local community, even from worldwide community. Then we have local community. Kisse sune? Whom should we hear from? Prabhupada says, यहाँ Pṛthu Mahārāja ने कहा है, one should hear from pure devotee. How do you, so what's your answer? So Prabhuji, सारी classes बंद, केवल या तो प्रभुपाद या मेरे गुरुदेव. सब कैंपस में भागवतम क्लास बंद कर देनी चाहिए, सब मेंटर्स काउंसलर मीटिंग्स बंद कर देनी चाहिए, कुछ नहीं चलेगा. So what is the idea? What is, how do you understand this? Of course, just looking at this verse, you can't really understand. If in case you say something, if you can say with some reference, that will be more, or okay, say something. Let's begin with something that will come to reference. Yes, Mother Shama Vallabi.
Hear from someone who inspires us in our bhakti.
But how do you reconcile this? Not a pure devotee. I mean, not a pure devotee. We're not saying it's not a pure devotee. We don't know. But the point here is, Pṛthu Mahārāja is saying, hear from a pure devotee. He specifically mentioned that the glories of the Lord should emanate from the mouths of pure devotees who speak from the core of their hearts. आपने क्या नाम है अपना ये?
Can I say something to you?
Yeah, coming to you. Our devotee who gave Balaram Katha and temple NVCC. बोला जो भी बोलूँगा सच के अलावा कुछ नहीं बोलूँगा. मैं बस आपके सामने पैरेट के समान याद करके आया हूँ, मेरी स्क्रिप्ट बोलने वाला हूँ. वो हार्ट का तो मैटर कहीं नहीं था, माइंड का मैटर था. मैं याद करके आया मुझे क्या बोलना है. And then he said, during the lecture he said 2-3 times, oh, don't mind, हाँ, मैं थोड़ी अपनी स्क्रिप्ट भूल गया तो 2-3 स्टेटमेंट मेरे इधर उधर मिस हो गए. You know, he was getting a little caught in between. From the core of their heart, Shukha Mukhat Amrita Darvya Samyutam. इस कारण तो भागवत में 3 नेक्टेरियन हो गई है, because it was spoken from the mouth of Sukadev, coming right from his heart, realized knowledge.
Prabhuji,
Yeah.
those who are realized, they will only be able to inspire actually. And those who are pure in a way, those who are practicing, who are following the instructions of Guru Parampara, only they'll be able to inspire.
Okay, very nice. That's also a valid point. ठीक है. Yes, who was saying online? Yes, Mother.
हाँ, तो प्रभु जी IDC के पैंटियर में या कहीं पे तो मैंने पढ़ा था कि वहाँ पे दिया था those who are trying to follow a pure devotee are also pure devotees. So in that sense, like you know, जैसे आपने कहा कि community में सब लोग क्लास देते हैं, तो हम सबका सुन सकते हैं because everyone is trying to follow some pure devotee.
All right. Let's go to Shastra. Thank you for the comment also there. This is 11th canto, 9th chapter, verse number 31. I have shared my screen. Nahi ekasmat guru jnanam sustiram sya supushkalam brahmaitad advityam vai giyate bahudarshibhi. This is 11th canto has got many interesting verses that leads to debates. At times, we call it difference of opinions like that. This is one of the classic verse. क्या हुआ? Sound. Yeah. So nahi ekasmat guru jnanam. Let's go to translation directly. Those who are online, they can see, and those who are here, I'm speaking from 11th canto, 9th chapter, verse number 30. It's a huge purport. There's a purport written by disciples of Prabhupada, so they are quoted to the purport commentary. Jiva Goswami, Vishnu Thakur. I will not read all. I just come to the point. Although the absolute truth is one without a second, the sages have described it in many different ways. Therefore, one may not be able to acquire very firm or complete knowledge from one's spiritual master. थोड़ा ये अजीब लग रहा है. One spiritual master? मतलब what? I need to have few more spiritual master? No, that's not the idea about it. The idea is spurati adaha. Just like Punda was saying, different devotees are inspired, from different perspectives. They have different sense of relationship and different levels of understanding. When we hear from different devotees, we develop a wholesome experience of the Supreme Personality Godhead, which we cannot anyways ever fit into our head. But hearing from different devotees, therefore we get to know from their realization. Therefore there has to be a way of how you want to conduct your Bhagavatam class. So of course we couldn't do that until now, but nonetheless, so idea is, who instituted this culture of everyday Bhagavatam class? Srila Prabhupada. Now himself Prabhupada is saying here, pure devotee. So there is a context here. The context here is devotees versus non-devotees. And then Prabhupada in the same Prabhupada clarifies, Mayavadi, Ko Chaitanya Mahāpur. Even if you read Bhagavatam or hear Bhagavatam from Mayavadi, you're doomed. So first of all, devotee versus non-devotee. Prabhupada within the devotees is not saying search out a pure devotee and speak. That was a general statement one should hear from who? Mahattamanta Hridayan Mukachatuha. So this is the verse which says that how it becomes relishable. I'm reading the last few lines which I had highlighted in the purport. This is from Vishnu Chakra Thakur's commentary, which is included in the purport. If one receives the teachings of one acharyas, but keeps them locked up in his brain as theoretical dogma. Okay, point is, why should we hear from others? Of course, I'm not saying you start doing public shopping now. At least come in the tea, or at least whoever few speakers you like to hear. What's the problem? There's no problem in that. Of course, in the beginning years, it's better we go, little slowly and properly connected with one or two devotees so that you can be properly grown up. In the beginning years, it's not a good idea just to derive all nourishment from online platform, hearing random lectures, because they may not be, meant for your level of faith. But after you've been around for several years, have studied Prabhupada books, at least that's what Bhakti Shastri have done. So it is expected. What is expected? To develop Shastra Chakshu. And what is the idea of it? We are going to have one Guru only. We're going to have one Acharya. For us, our Acharya is Srila Prabhupada. And that Srila Prabhupada Acharya is manifested, or we understand Srila Prabhupada through our spiritual master, through his teachings, because they are emphasizing certain things. Now, when we hear others, or when we look at the world, we should see how it is connected with what our acharyas have taught us. That is the whole idea. That's how you develop maturity. I'll read here again. If one receives the teachings of one acharya but keeps them locked up in his brain as theoretical dogma, one will make literal, oh, this is the only thing, this is the only thing, this is the only thing. I don't hear from anyone, this is what it is, there is nothing else. That turns out into a dogma. To develop steady, complete knowledge, one must see the teachings of one's acharyas everywhere. Thus a Vaishnava offers all respect to anyone or anything that gives him further enlightenment in path of worshipping his bona fide acharya, who is not different from Lord Krishna. So that's another shloka which says how acharya is not different from Krishna. The point is, this devotee develops better understanding. Again, I'm not promoting window shopping here, that's not the idea. But those who have a doubt about what's the purpose of morning Bhagavatam classes, why not we hear? Because there is another side of it. Some say, hear from Guru, which should be. The point is, now you have to see the manifestation of the teaching of Guru when others speak, which means you should be able to reflect and connect. And that's how you're understanding. For example, all of you would have read some book of Prabhupada. Now then, if you have read Prabhupada's book, then why do you need somebody to teach you? Anyone having ever had an experience when you heard about what Prabhupada have written in the book, your understanding developed? How many of you agree your understanding became better? Raise your hand. When you heard what Prabhupada have written, your understanding improved? That's the whole idea. And not that person, and of course that person should not take you away from the real understanding. So we therefore function within the community. And the community is not that, चलो आज मेरा मन करता है मैं व्यास आसन में बैठूंगा, मैं जाके क्लास दूंगा. और कम्युनिटी के लोग कहते हैं बस हम क्या करें, हम तो विवश हैं, कोई भी जाके बैठ जाता है. There is a full culture. There is a set of leadership who decides who give class, who doesn't give class. It's not that anything randomly happening. So there is no question for us to think, सामने वाला pure devotee है या नहीं है? Is he following things or not? If something is happening, if in case unless we have seen something going really haywire, that's a different thing. Otherwise, that's how Prabhupada instituted. That's the way to see it. Okay, so what does devotee want? They want to hear the glories of the Lord. And text number 25, what is his desire? Desire is to hear Sautama Shloka Mahamukachatu. Are we sharing the verse, Prabhu? Yeah. Text number 25. Sautama Shloka Mahamukachatu. Bahat Padambhoj Sudha Kanan Liha. Smritim Puna Vishmrita Tattva Vartmana. Kuyoginano Vitarati Alamvare. again, just to conclude that part, if we don't develop this broader understanding, one devotee, it's right in the very beginning years of my Krishna conscience, he said, Prabhupada have, see, if we don't, if in case we don't align with any aspect of what, what culture has been established, we are literally doubting Prabhupada, So this was back in 2010 or 9, I believe. There was this, some particular training was going on in ISKCON, so I was there, I was attending it. It was conflict resolution or something. There a devotee said a very profound thing, a very senior devotee. He said, Prabhupada have designed our society in such a beautiful way. If you want to be around, you are forced to become Madhyamadikari. What can you do if you want to remain Kanishta Adhikari? You want to, develop dogmas or dogmatic viewpoints of philosophy and all that. So if you want to be around for long, Prabhupada have designed in such a way, you will be forced to become Madhyamadikari. First thing, you're going to hear different opinions from different speakers. Some may resonate with you, some may agitate with you. Now you have to sit and reconcile it. Some you may ask in the class, some you may not ask in the class. So that helps. There's nothing against, it helps only. At least whichever community, we should at least attend classes there. Because the reason is, if you have a doubt, you can clarify. But if you only hear on online lectures, and that too on YouTube streaming or something, if you find something which is not resonating with you, it can shake up your faith. Unless we have developed that much understanding of Shastra, we have read Shastra, we have understood Shastra, heard Shastra, that is a different thing. You have some ability to reconcile. So please remember, so to grow is essential that as a community we hear from each other. That helps us develop a better viewpoint. Text number 25 I was saying, right? So what is saying? Saptama shloka mahanugachato bhavat padam vajasudaka kananila. So again, hearing for the pure devotee. So no, the point is, I would like to hear from your great devotee of the Lord. And what is the advantage of hearing? Why am I asking for hearing? My dear Lord, you are glorified by the selected verses uttered by great personalities. Sa Uttama Shloka. Uttama Shloka refers to the Supreme Personality Godhead. Uttama Shloka, who is glorified by selected poetry. My dear Lord, you are glorified by the selected verse uttered by the great personality. Mukhachato. Such glorification, lotus feet, is just like saffron particles. Bhavat Padam Vajasud Kananila. Very important verse. When the transcendental vibration from the mouths of great devotees carries the aroma of the saffron dust of your lotus feet, the forgetful living entity gradually remembers his eternal relationship with you. Devotees thus gradually come to the right conclusion about the value of life. My dear Lord, I therefore do not need any other benediction but the opportunity to hear from the mouth of your pure devotee. Prabhupada says in the puppet, third line. The transcendental vibration from the mouth of a pure devotee is so powerful that it can revive the living entity's memory of his eternal relationship with the Lord. In our material existence, under the influence of illusory Maya, we have almost forgotten our eternal relationship with the Lord, exactly like a man sleeping very deeply who forgets his duty. In the Vedas, it is said that every one of us is sleeping, and the rest of the story goes on, which Prabhupada is saying. So, when we hear from the devotees of the Lord, and in that also we are blessed to have the association of your devotee. When they speak, it shatters our illusion. And at some point of time, our illusion must have been shattered, therefore we all are sitting here. And therefore it is very important when we are preaching to encourage them in the culture of hearing. If we don't inspire them, if we just say, okay, chant Hare Krishna, read some books and all that, their growth will be stunted. So whoever is in the mentorship role, taking care of people, one thing that you always want to check, please tell me, how does faith develops? By chanting Hare Krishna or by hearing about Krishna?
Yes.
By hearing about Krishna, when faith develops. When faith develops, then you chant attentively?
Yes.
So how it all begins with?
Yeah.
If we don't encourage them for hearing, if we just say, okay, one class hearing in a week is okay, at least some culture of hearing you have to design for them or devise for them. Maybe 10 minutes hearing, 15 minutes hearing, or maybe a few lectures, something. And that's how people grow. That's the point here. Text number 26. Yasha Shivam Sushrava Arya Sangame Yadrachaya Choprishnoti Seskrat Katham Gunuknyo Viramed Vinapasham Shiryat Pravavre Gunasangrichaya Yasha Shivam Shushrava Sangame Yadrachaya Chopshnoti Teskrat Katham Gunuknyo Virame Vinapasham Shriyat Pravavre Gunasangarachaya Sangraha Ichaya. So, Pṛthu says, Shriyat Pravavre, even Mother Lakshmi desires this. Guna Sangraha Ichaya, even Mother Lakshmi, they desire to hear more about your glories. The third line, Katham Gunagnyo Viramed Vinapasham. One who gives up on hearing, or one who cannot sit in the class peacefully hear, Vinapasham, without a doubt, guaranteed, on a notarized paper in Bhagavatam, has to be an animal. Yasha Shivam Shishruvaha Arya Sangame, however, one who can sit and hear, Arya Sangame, he is a true Aryan. Remember the word Aryan in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter? So you are a true Aryan. That's a culture. This culture of hearing is a culture of Aryan civilization, advanced civilization. Translation. My dear highly glorified Lord, if one in the association of pure duty hears even once the glories of your activities, he does not, unless he is nothing but an animal, give up the association of devotees. For no intelligent person will be so careless as to leave the association. The perfection of chanting and hearing about your glories was accepted even by the goddess of fortune, who desired to hear of your unlimited activities and transcendental glories. So, we started our discussion talking about what can a devotee ask for a blessing. And all of you would have written something as I asked you in the beginning to do your reflection. What would you like to ask the Lord? And some of you shared what other devotees have said in Bhagavatam like that. And then we saw in the next verse, Pṛthu said, my dear Lord, what I want the association of devotees so that through their lotus-like mouth I can hear about your wonderful transcendental glories. And then he said, what's the point? Why do I want to hear? Because by hearing about you from your great devotees, my relationship with you will be restored. Which means I can experience you in my life through the process of hearing. And now he says, well, who can give up on hearing? Only those who are nothing but animal. So the point I'm trying to bring here, and this is very much true for me also for that reason, is how is the culture of hearing for me in my own personal life? One thing is because, at least I'm speaking to those who stay here, because we have this classes every day and we have kind of enforced certain policies, so we come and sit. Maybe there is some office work, or maybe whatever reason you slept late, so couldn't come, whatever, there could be a number of reasons. But can we genuinely ask ourselves, what is the culture of hearing that I have? How much do I have that inclination to hear? Because Janmashtami is right on the corner. Pṛthu Mahārāja is telling us what should we be asking for. And if you don't have the need within us, you ask for what you feel the need of. If you don't see the need of it, and if you think, hearing, bindas, daily सुनता हूँ मैं, सोता हूँ सुनता हूँ बात अलग है, बैठता तो हूँ, so वो तो issue ही नहीं है मांगने का, so what we ask is what we feel the need. So unless we see the need, unless we see the need of improvement, why would we ask for it? Like somebody said, my dear Lord, please engage me in seva. So we see the need for it. My dear Lord, please let me not, Mother Priti was saying, let me not fall down from my position when I engage. I see the need for it. So what you ask is always comes from the need, and here Pṛthu Mahārāja is saying, my dear Lord, may I always get the opportunity to hear. And same thing, just adding to what Mother Priti Radha was saying, in the same set of prayers, Brahmaji concluded, may I never get disconnected from the spiritual sound. Otherwise, I'll be caught up with the modes of material nature. Okay, that's about text number 26. Before that, let's read the last paragraph of the purport. Mahārāja Pṛthu points out that even the goddess of fortune, who is a constant companion of Lord Narayan, specifically wanted to hear about the Lord's glories. And for the association of the gopis who are pure devotees, the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, underwent severe austerities. The last paragraph. The impersonalist may ask why one should bother chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra continually for so many years instead of stopping and trying for Kaivalya or merging. In answer, Mahārāja Pṛthu maintains that the attraction of his chanting is so great that one cannot give it the process unless he is an animal. This is the case even if one comes in contact with the transcendental vibration of a chant. Pṛthu Mahārāja is very emphatic in this connection. Only an animal can give up the practice of chanting Hare Krishna. Those who are not animals but actually intelligent, advanced, human, civilized men cannot give up this practice of continually chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Why would devotee want to hear, and why would this Jnani who wants a Kaivalya Mukti wants to give up hearing? Any thoughts? They also advance by hearing only, no? It's not that they have not gone through the process of hearing. They also read Shastra, read with the hearing. So we want to, we means let's say devotee, a pure devotee, let's say, or advanced devotee. He wants to continue. He wants to continue hearing and wants to increase his hearing. Here we all start with the same thing. Jnani also started the process of hearing, but now at some point in time he wants to give up hearing. What's the difference? What's the difference? Yes, Kaushal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Because those who are trying for Kaivalya want to externally control their senses and stop the any engagement of senses.
Okay, so they want to stop the engagement of ears also. Okay. That was very much like a Jnani answer. Technical answer. Okay. What else? Anyone else? Yes, let's hear from Puma, who have not yet said anything. We'll take inputs. I hope the question is clear.
Yeah. The Jnanis, they want to elevate with their own efforts, and whereas on the other hand, the devotees are always dependent on the mercy of the Lord, mercy of the devotees. Okay. So that's why initially they hear.
Because they want to advance.
Initially they hear it to.
No, we are talking about not initially. We are talking about already they have been very specific audience, specific stage. Okay.
Advance, but they hear it first when they were in the neophyte stages of Jnana.
You said, I'm saying, why they want to continue hearing and also want to increase their hearing. And here, this guy has also grown up, but now he wants to give up hearing. We're not talking neophytes. You're talking
because personal aspect of the Lord is there, so it is more relishable.
Okay. It's all about I only word. Go ahead.
Same answer, boring life. सब कुछ boring है, खत्म करना है, zero करना है.
It's all again, it's all Jnani-centric answers. It's all Jnani-centric answers. Okay, let's see anyone online. Madan Sundari, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat Ram. Prabhuji, so I have heard that there is this unwillingness to serve because they want to become one with the Supreme. Okay. So somewhere the tendency of enjoyment, maybe we are one with Lord, and second is unwillingness to serve.
Unwillingness to serve, okay, fine. What else? Sudhir Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, the Jnanis, once they reach that stage, they feel that they have achieved and now they are done with it. Now they have
the syllabus is over.
They can preach or they can.
No need to study now. Okay. Okay. Let's say the last one, Mother Shamalavi. You want to say anything else?
So devotees, their aim is to love Krishna and to serve Krishna with love. Where when we hear, actually we develop the tendency to, we get attraction towards Lord and we develop love towards Lord by hearing. Whereas the Gyanis, their goal is to merge with the Lord, and they don't have nothing to do with the service and loving Lord. That's the reason why they don't want to hear after a particular time.
Yeah, very important. Here's what I found. Why I am doing what I am doing. Am I practicing just to get liberated, or just to go back home, back to Godhead? Have you ever in your wildest dream thought about if next morning you crash landed in Vaikuntha and Goloka, करेगा क्या? वहाँ झाड़ू लगाने को नहीं है, वहाँ IT कंपनी नहीं है, तो करेगा क्या? You know, what will you do? So why am I doing? The only purpose is, if you see, our Shastra talk about only one thing: love, love, and love. That is called Priti. So the goal of a bhakta from the beginning to the end is same: love. When that goal is love, the more you begin to love that person, the more you begin to relish hearing about that person. Yes or no?
Yes.
You cannot give up hearing. In fact, as your love develops, you want to hear more and more and more. Now, in case of Gyanis, now let's call spiritualists. We are also spiritualists. हम में से कौन कितने मायावादी हैं, कौन है, वो तो समय बताएगा. Let's call spiritualists right now, because we are sitting and chanting is not that. Just FYI, even Mayavadi spiritualists, call spiritualists right now, to put everyone in the same category, even they chant the holy names of the Lord. It's not a prerogative or a proprietary right of somebody within the ISKCON institution to chant. So many people of so many institutions are chanting the holy names of the Lord. So don't think because your hand is on being chanting Hare Krishna, we are in the right track. You are on the right track. It depends on what's your purpose. Why? I mean, that defines which track are you. That's the first thing. Second thing, let's consider as a spiritualist. Now we are moving forward. As a spiritualist, we are moving forward. Whatever we may assume about ourselves, whatever people may assume about ourselves. Now, if you are moving forward, our culture of hearing must be getting better and better and better. Then you are aligned with the purpose and the life and the mission of a bhakta. But because I am growing and I am growing and I am growing, and my culture of hearing is getting more spoiled and more spoiled and more spoiled, and I am becoming more and more disinterested in hearing because I have everything else to do. I mean, of course, don't consider Janmashtami is on the corner, so there may be some little service-related things. So for that time, there could be some emergency. What about the rest of the year? Or rest of the time when we don't have big festival? What are we doing that time? So please don't cheat yourself, deceive yourself. We have to face ourselves. And that's a fact about it. So somebody who is developing love will want to hear more. And somebody who is not in that direction, he will have all the possible excuses to skip hearing. Of course, maybe within the local forum you may not have that inspiring association, but there are so many inspiring associations online. And there are so many programs. There are Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Bhakti. Kuch to karo, kahin to karo. If you don't go there, if you don't do that, then we end up doing, because hearing is unstoppable. Hearing is one thing which is unstoppable, so much so it is active 24/7. This is one sense which does not sleep, which does not shut down. If you don't hear here, you're going to hear somewhere else. How many of you agree? If you're not hearing a lecture, we are hearing from somebody from something on YouTube and WhatsApp. Yes or no?
Yes.
So we have to analyze. So now you ask yourself, am I on the path of bhakta? Am I on the path of some random whatever? I don't know if you're Jnani also or not. Because hearing lectures on WhatsApp, definitely you are a WhatsApp bhakta. You're not even Mayavadi that way. You're not a different category. So that's the point here. Text number 27. Alright. So, Atha bhajitva khila purushottamam Gunalayam padmakarevalalasaha Api avayorekapati spradhokale Nasya kritatvach Charanayekatanayo. Very, very beautiful verse. This is one of the very fantastic sections. So, Ekapati Spradha Kalir. Third line, if you see, Api Avayor. Can I have the white light? Somehow it's becoming more yellowish again and again. There's too much stress for my eyes. Yeah, thank you. So, Api Avayor Ekapati Spradha Kalir. So, Ekapati, who is that? Madhalakshmi. Ekapati Spradha. Spradha means competition. Kali means quarrel. So here, Pṛthu is saying, well, looks like there can be a competition between me and Madan Lakshmi. I'll say what the quarrel is, or the competition is talking, or the quarrel I'm talking about. But one competition that we definitely want to have. Can you think of one subject matter on which we should have competition with devotees? Service. Service is so variegated. Say some service. There can be prasadam service. Prabhuji, I am highly competitive for service. Which service, Prabhu? Gulab Jamun service. If he eats 4, I have to eat 8. If he takes 8, I have to take 12. We're not talking that, that's brother here. What service? To please Guru. Okay. So there could be many things that you can think which aligns with the concept of. So what pleases Guru the most? What pleases Guru? When we develop love for Krishna. So anything which helps developing that love for Krishna, there we can have competition. Competition in what sense? Push and pulling नहीं. यार कितना अच्छा सिंसियरली बैठ के क्लास सुनता है, मैं भी सीधा बैठूंगा. देखो कितने आराम से बैठे हैं, यार मुझे भी बैक सपोर्ट चाहिए. So you see where you're competing with. Where somebody needs a back support, and I also go and sit back support, और मैं आके खोल के योग निद्रा का आनंद लूँगा. So that's another, you know where you're heading to. Okay. And one, I don't know if that devotee is here. Yeah, Mother Medhavani. I cannot not speak about her on this subject matter. What a taste for hearing this mother has got. Those who know her, they know. She is more present. In fact, she is by default certainly running the whole morning program. Even she is not personally present here. First she was in Bombay, now she has come to Pune, she is staying somewhere in the Mahārāja side. But without a doubt, if you have ever seen anyone online, either the morning program, Mangalati, Brahmamurta, or for morning Bhagavatam class, how many of you agree without a doubt there would always be one person who would always be there? Madan Sundar. Okay, I'm not trying to tell you be competitive with her. That's not why I'm not. Don't see Spradha. And I'll see, now come back to the subject matter. The idea is driving inspiration. We get so easily carried away because of some bad example. प्रभु जी उस वक्त ने मुझे ये कह दिया. मैं क्या करूं कह दिया. अब तेरे कर्म में था सुनना तो सुनेगा तू. तूने क्या कम कहा है लोगों को. तूने भी तो लोगों को कुछ कहा होगा. तू कौन सा दूध का धुला है भाई. You know, people come to me, मुझे उसने ये कह दिया. तो मैं कहा, why don't you reflect on what all you have said to people? It's just a boomerang. It has to come. It's just not a karmic reaction. Very easy to tell about karma. When you face it, why I'm facing it. It doesn't work like this. I said, keep this thing aside. Don't worry about these petty issues. Focus on the good examples. Would every community would have some good examples? Why don't we latch on to those good examples and focus our attention to them and see how can I become better like them? Then these petty issues will not bother. You know who gets so much caught up by petty issues? Because they don't have any good examples to focus on. Because they have no good examples. It's not that there is no good examples around. They don't look for that. They don't desire that. They don't see the need for it. They want to maintain their lower tendencies. They want to remain where they are. And then something happens. Now, what do you expect? You see tunnels or those kind of filthy places where pigs are rolling around. Are they going to fight with each other or not? If you're going to be in a filth, and if you see a few pigs there rolling around, they're going to fight with each other. So if you want to keep our consciousness in filth, fight is inevitable. So what do you want to do? You have to move out of that place. Which means change your consciousness from that filth. Move forward. Don't keep yourself there and keep saying, Prabhuji, us bhakt ne mujhe ye keh diya, ye keh diya. Anyone who is doing management, people would always have complaint about them, without a doubt. I am not protecting management or managers here. We as a managers also had a mistake, without doubt. But the point is, we are not Krishna. It is not possible to please anyone and everyone. And we come with our own level of inefficiencies, incompetencies and whatnot. Our communication is defective, our way of dealings is ineffective, or maybe sometimes could be disrupting to others. That's a matter of fact. If you are getting so affected, do you think if you take the manager role, would you do it nicely? You will also have the same issue. So don't get caught up with the temporary issues. Keep your attention to the right thing, right examples. Focus on that and keep moving forward. And that's the idea of paying attention to hearing. That's the idea of focusing on these certain sections, what's happening here. He had a quarrel with whom? Indra. And who is he willing to have quarrel with? Lakshmi. Do you see? Are you getting the point? Everyone on the ground was thinking Pṛthu is having quarrel with Indra. And Pṛthu said, "Hey, come on, side it up. मेरा quarrel तो लक्ष्मी के संग है. मैं करूँगा सेवा को." Are you getting it? This is not quarrel under the modes of material nature. The purpose says that even devotees, even back in spiritual world, there is spradha, there is competition, but not envy. Spradha means to do better. We feel proud that others do something and that service inspires us to do better. Not like in a conditioned state where we pull him down to our level. How many of you have noticed this, experienced this? The other person is not willing to improve, but what he wants is to pull you down to his level and keep you there. Because he does not want to change, he does not want to move, he doesn't want anything, but what he wants, you come down to his level and function at his level, so you become like one of them. When you do management, you will see that often. When you give a feedback, when you tell them how to improve seva, just nothing. Seva वैसी होगी जैसा मैं चाहता हूँ. I will do seva this quality, you are talking that quality, come down here, this quality might just not पड़ेगा. तुम भी मेरे संग गिरे रहो, मैं भी गिरा रहूँगा. That is material consciousness. But this is not what has been discussed here. Translation. Now I wish to engage in the service of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality Godhead and to serve just like the goddess of fortune, who carries the lotus flower in her hand because his lordship, the Supreme Personality Godhead, is the resolver of all transcendental qualities. I'm afraid the goddess of fortune and I would quarrel because both of us would be attentively engaged in the same service. So, for example, let's say Mother Lakshmi is caressing the lotus feet of the Lord. But he's saying, मैं भी करूँगा, तो हमारे अंदर थोड़ी तो झड़प होगी. So like that he's saying, but let's take a look what Prabhupada explains this. The explanation is given by Prabhupada in the last paragraph of this verse. Pṛthu Mahārāja desired to serve the Lord with the goddess of fortune. But this desire does not mean that it was situated in the platform of Madhurya Ras. The goddess of fortune is engaged in the service of the Lord in the rasa of Madhurya, conjugal love. Although her position is on the chest of the Lord, the goddess of fortune, in her position as a devotee, takes pleasure in serving the lotus feet of the Lord. Pṛthu Mahārāja was thinking only of the lotus feet of the Lord because he's on the platform of Dasya Ras. And he said, I also want to get hold of your feet. Mother Lakshmi also wants to get hold of the feet. तो हमारे बीच में झड़प होगी. कौन पहले मसाज करेगा? From the next verse, we learn that Pṛthu Mahārāja was thinking of the goddess fortune as a universal mother, Jagan Mata. Consequently, there was no question of his competing with her on the platform of Madhurya Ras. Nonetheless, he feared that she might take an offense at his engaging in the service of the Lord. This suggests that in the absolute world, there is sometimes competition between servitors in the service of the Lord. But such competition is without malice. In the Vaikuntha world, if a devotee excels in the service of the Lord, others do not become envious of his excellent service, but rather aspire to come to the platform of that service. What a beautiful point. Our transcriber nahi hai, Neeraj Prabhu. I would have asked him to highlight this and put it out in the message. I'll repeat again. This suggests that in the absolute world there is sometimes competition between servitors and the service of the Lord, but such competition is without malice. In the Vaikuntha world, if a devotee excels in the service of the Lord, others do not become envious of his excellent service, but rather aspire to come to the platform of that service. Alright, so with that I'll pause here. So we'll have another class on Friday morning. At that time we'll complete this chapter. So I kind of didn't want you to rush through with it, and also I didn't want you to start another chapter, another discussion right before Janmashtami. I thought let's focus the discussion on what a devotee should aspire and desire, what blessings we should ask for. So with that I'll pause here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Guru Srila Prabhupada ki. Any questions, any comments? We can take one or two questions if any. Yes, Madan Sundari Subhadra. Is it possible we can have the camera on so at least I know who I'm speaking to? That helps while connecting and giving answer. Hare Krishna. Are you asking a question? Yes, Mother. You have to unmute, please. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Vandana. Prabhuji, I heard, thank you so much, today a lot of content was there on hearing. So Prabhuji, we also hear in Nectar of Instruction that there was a concept of Atyahar. So how do we differentiate volume for hearing from Atyahar? How do we introspect ourselves, whether we are greedy for hearing or we are simply doing Atyahar? How do we understand it?
If it is hearing of spiritual subject matter, that is called as spiritual greed. That is all good. There is nothing Atyahara. Even if that Atyahara is positive. Ati Ahar. Purpose says Ahar. Too much eating or too much possessions. It is never in the context of learning. Yeah, Prabhupada, I believe it talks about it could be bookish knowledge also. But nonetheless, if it is about spiritual subject matter, please go ahead. We will pray for you and for ourselves also that we do Atihar more and more. Let us chant more, let us hear more, let us read more. That is the best Atihara. If in case that's the definition of Atihara, we want to take it. Okay?
Prabhuji, but in LOD, I was hearing that it was said that we should not hear too much. So I don't understand.
We should not hear so much.
No, not too much, or maybe not from anyone and everyone. Maybe it was like that.
It would be like that only. This one service of hearing has been done aside to do Nitya, 24/7. So to put a limit to it is never a question. Because when you're chanting, that time is also hearing. So hearing is not only the class discourse, but chanting is also hearing. But hearing comes with the condition not to hear from anyone and everyone. Prabhupada made a point in this particular purpose which you focus. And in the first canto, in the first two chapters, Prabhupada emphasizes this point a lot. Whom to hear, how to hearing to happen and all that. Okay?
Yeah. So that means, Prabhuji, whenever we hear of Krishna Katha, that time we will not consider it as Atyahar. That is what my understanding is.
No, that's never the case. Suppose I am doing Atyahara. I have heard 2 hours or 4 hours. No, that's not the case. Okay?
Okay, balance is the key.
No balance. Hear. How much you want to hear? I never said anything about the balance. I'm just clarifying that's not Atyahara. There's no Atyahara in that. And for that purpose, if in case one can work with a local mental authority, if in case we are always giving this excuse, Prabhu, I'm hearing, so I cannot do service, then it's a different thing. That should not become an excuse for us not to do practical service also. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, Krishna Prabhu, go ahead. You have a mic? There is an online audience.
Prabhuji, we see that currently there are many devotees hearing from some Babas of Vrindavan, and even sharing their lectures publicly. So, and they say that they are taking some inspiration from that so that they can practice nicely. So, and like we hear from some devotees that they are linked with Mayavadi and all this thing. So how we can tackle this, and like if someone is hearing this and promoting it openly, then
As a practicing devotee, we should not promote, at least. That's the first thing. When it comes to personal inspiration and all that, if somebody is getting inspired, we cannot restrict that. We cannot put a policy for that. We cannot put a law for that. We cannot say you have to hear only from Prabhupada. We cannot hear from anyone. As a part of institution, we can say, okay, whose class can be played in the temple or whatnot. But what you do in your private space, that's between you and the Lord. But as a part of the best culture, at least again in the beginning stages, it is very appropriate, unless you develop proper knowledge, proper faith, not go for window shopping. Because we don't have a faith, we just are driven by sentiments. And that sentiments could be more of show off and whatnot. Just like Narasimha Avatar movie. You know, to chant Narasimha Aarti in the picture hall and to chant Narasimha Aarti here in front of Narasimha Dev, is there a difference or no difference? Anshulpa, what do you say? Is there a difference or no difference?
There is difference.
What is the difference?
In that the people who are not aware of the Narasimha, they can also hear and they can also understand it. Yes, this is the Aarti and we should also do. So they can get motivated, but here we are not motivating any other people who are not understanding.
Okay, so you're saying there is a preaching opportunity to get it. Okay, so we have a preaching opportunity. What else? Okay, valid point. We have a preaching opportunity. So the same thing when we go out on Harinam on the street, we have an opportunity. So which means we can be more enthusiastic there. But nonetheless, should we be enthusiastic here or not? You're really concerned about the well-being of others, but at least apna bhi to hona chahiye when we have the aarti or not, like that. So when it comes to practice, individual inspiration, at least you have grown up around for a while, you have some faith, you have got some knowledge and all that, then Prabhupada also said, go, read Acharya's books, So it has to be in a guided way. At least one should not share things of others unless it's a very specific point that you're sharing. It's a very specific purpose. For example, there was this video from a Gaudiya Math of Sridhar Baba, where an ISKCON devotee asked a question about Ritvikism, and which we gave a very beautiful answer, pinpoint to that point, what Ritvikism is, and what Acharya, what's the purpose of having a personal, living guru in one's life. Now that is something which has some, it resolves some contradiction. Then it serves the purpose. We can share such things. So yeah, we have to be careful of that. But at the end of the day, we just can't protect it also. We can't put filters on somebody's mobile. Everyone has to take a responsibility of their actions. Again, if you are inspired because you heard some lila, you are very inspired, keep it to yourself. Unless it serves others, don't share it out in the beginning years, particularly among the young fellows, because then they may get distracted, what to do, what not to do. And the matter of fact is, as you're all growing up, if you look back, you'll realize we come from the background, or we come from the level of consciousness where everything was done inspired by Puja La Pratishta. Isn't it? If you look back, everything that we did was inspired by Puja La Pratishta. मैं ये करूँगा तो मुझे कितना acknowledgement मिलेगा, कितना praise मिलेगा, कितना likes मिलेगा. So we have to be careful of that. We have done the mistakes in the past. We should be careful of not doing the mistakes ahead. Same way, because we'll have the same regret what we have now for those past mistakes. So please see for yourself what we are sharing. And is there less to share? How much Prabhupada has spoken? Why do you have to go like that? But in the world of social media where things are easily available and all that, what can be done? But general advice is we should not do it. It is not a good practice. It is just gonna, disturb our own faith. And if there is something which fulfills a specific purpose and things, then it's a different thing. So like that. So yeah. And the last but not the least, as Prabhupada said in this verse, we have to be careful from whom we are hearing, because is he a practicing devotee, pure devotee, or a Mayavadi? We don't know. So that becomes another very risk factor when we hear from outside sources. We don't know Now, simultaneously, I can say we don't know who's speaking here is also a Mayavadi or a devotee. He's growing devotee, practicing devotee. From what background he's speaking, we don't know. But at least we have faith. Somebody has given him the opportunity to speak. Hopefully, he'll speak in line. And if he doesn't speak in line, authorities will correct him. Like that, we can. So, again, I'll give an answer and summarize this. It's a very important question. And again, a kind of a controversial subject matter. So, those who are young devotees, those who are, please focus on the things that have been given to you right now. Don't go do too much window shopping. Be careful of it. Because there's always this mass hysteria. If anyone becomes popular, must be right. We carry a very wrong notion. If anyone is popular and famous, has to be right. And if somebody is less popular, may not be right. So don't have that thing. Somebody has become famous, definitely he is blessed by the Lord. Somebody is not famous, definitely is not blessed by the Lord. You see this common misconception? It has got nothing to do with it. It's a pure karma game. It was in his destiny to become famous. So why this person, if had to be famous, why on a particular date only he became famous? उससे पहले भी तो बोल रहा था. Because there is a destiny, this and now, he has a golden period and he will become famous like that. So don't have this foolish idea because somebody is popular on YouTube or social media. Oh, he has received the special mercy of the Lord. You know why do you call it special mercy of the Lord? Because you see fame as a mercy. Because you want fame. And you see fame as a mercy because you want fame for that. Otherwise, if you don't want that, if you don't see as a mercy, you'll see somebody who is blissfully and in the background doing his devotion service is always there for any service given to him. How often have we said, this is mercy of the Lord? Somebody who's sincerely trying to serve, who's not coming too much in the forefront, he does his service, he does his sadhana nicely. How many of us have ever thought this is mercy of the Lord? And if you have not thought this is mercy of the Lord, the reason is because we don't aspire for it. Because what we aspire, we call it as special blessing. Because what you call as special blessing is what is your need. What you would need, you'll consider as a blessing. That is what the difference. People see it say, oh, this is special blessing. No special blessing, Prabhu. You want to be famous, so you think it's a special blessing, and you are saying that. What about the devotees who are serving? Gunashila yantritaha. This chapter only, Vishnu said, I'm pleased. Vasnishnvate aham gunashila yantritaha. I'm pleased by guna and shila, your attitude. That's a real blessing. And that's what the scripture says. Where scripture mentions somebody become famous, that's a function of karma. You were destined for that. I'm not saying the Lord may not have a role. Krishna wanted Arjuna to become famous, to known all over the world that he was one who made Pandavas win the battle. Krishna wanted Bhishma Pitama to become celebrated all over the world for all the time to come, so that Bhishma Pitama only answers. But we cannot put that equation for everyone like that. So we have to be careful. Okay? Hare Krishna. So we'll pause here. Thank you for your kind attention. Jagadu Srila Prabhupada ki. Yes, Mother Preeti Radha.
Can I ask?
Yeah, please go ahead.
जो आप अभी बोल रहे थे ना, उसको I'm trying to understand. If someone becomes very famous, and many people are getting inspired because of that person, then is it a correct way to look at it? Lord is making him the instrument in inspiring many people, and that's how it is a mercy, like that?
See, in our context, it's good to see in that way, so we don't become envious.
Okay.
ये भाई ठीक है, but there is nothing too much to talk about that. And second, not to compare. For example, let's say there is another devotee who is trying to preach, and he is able to do some little results and all that, and now to draw parallel because Prabhu, mercy, no mercy. That kind of parallel should not be drawn. But to protect our consciousness from competitive, material competitiveness and envy, that's good to say, well, whatever is happening in the life of devotee is happening because of the blessings of the Lord. So Lord wish for him, so be it. And if he is able to inspire so many devotees, it cannot happen without Bhakti Shakti. It's just not impossible. It's not a function of karma. Karma can get you fame, but to inspire people to sit and chant the holy names of the Lord, to give up, to follow 480 principles, to give up sinful life, That just cannot happen without Bhakti Shakti. Prabhupada so many times he writes in his purpose like that. So that's altogether different thing. But somebody is just merely entertaining. So even in that situation somebody can influence and inspire, What is their lives getting transformed? Lives getting transformed. That's all because of Bhakti Shakti. It's just not possible without it. That's not happening because of one's karmic reactions or good fortune or destiny. It doesn't sound like that. Okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you. So tomorrow morning we'll have a class by SK's Radhesham. We can just post a message if anyone has questions, because he was asking me, should I take a question, should I speak on another topic? I can push it now. When a message is dala tha, so we can tell them if you have some questions, please let us know, so I can communicate to them about it.